Hey everyone. This is part 2 of episode 36 of the Save Schizophrenic podcast. This is a continuation of the episode I uploaded not yesterday, I think it was the day before, in which I talked about, in which I described, talked about, I guess you could say that. I shared with you guys about Skylar and Cheyenne, which are two of my most hostile, aggressive, violent hallucinations, visual hallucinations, if you want to call them. I tend to just call them spirits or demons, but whatever floats your boat, whatever blows your skirt up, whatever. So it's going to be a continuation of that and just talking about how I feel today, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, just overall kind of how my episode has, or what my episode has turned into, or at least how it has progressed, probably would be the better way to say it. But yeah, for those who are new to my channel, my name is Steven. I am 33 years old, at least I think so. May 1st, 91. I think that's 33 years old. Yeah. Right now I live in Minnesota. Before living in Minnesota, I lived in Alaska for a couple of years. Seward, Alaska, Harbortown, if you know where that is. And then Anchorage for a year as well. Before living in Alaska, I had taught English in Indonesia, Thailand, Yemen, traveled all over the world, the Middle East, East Africa, all sorts of places for work and just for fun. I studied abroad in South Africa for 6 months in college, so there was that. But yeah, in terms of just living places, I've lived so many places. It's crazy. But right now I live in Minnesota, like I said. I am single. I don't know why I would tell you I'm single. It has nothing to do with this video, but I guess I'll just say that. No partner, no love interest as of right now. I'm just me by myself. Me, myself, and I, as they say. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia about freshman, sophomore year of college. I've talked about that in most of my videos. So, I've been living with schizophrenia for 15 plus years, just about. Probably almost half of my life, which is crazy to think about now. I'm also an addict in recovery, an alcoholic. I have substance abuse issues with alcohol, cocaine, other drugs. I've done at least every drug once that you could possibly think of. Drugs that you can find in this country and drugs you can't. Drugs that are only in some countries overseas. But yeah. So I'm schizophrenic and I am an addict. And that's really me in a nutshell. I have a bachelor's. I went to St. Cloud State University. My bachelor's is in teaching English as a second language. I got a master's of science, which is in a combination of psychology and a sociology emphasis, and some human relations, spirituality kind of stuff in there. I kind of just got to take my own classes. I didn't really have a set curriculum, I guess. But yeah, I have a master's. But that's a little bit about me for those who are new. For those who have been following my channel for quite a bit, thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for keeping up. Thank you for your comments. And having that conversation with me, going back and forth. There's a couple of you who comment on every one of my videos, and it's heartfelt. I appreciate you guys' love and support, and I like just giving each other some wisdom. It's a good feeling. It brings a smile to my face. It really does. It brings joy to my heart. But yeah, this is part 2 of episode 36. How am I doing? Am I stable? Do I feel better? Do I feel worse? Am I experiencing a psychotic episode right now? They're all good questions, they are. I haven't really been able to sleep. The voices are just, what I'm seeing is keeping me up at night, or it kept me up last night, most of the night. But yeah, I've been up most of the night, and just symptoms are keeping me up. But yeah, to those questions, how am I doing? Am I stable? Am I psychotic right now? Am I having an episode? What's going on? I would say yes. I would say yes. Honestly, I am experiencing an episode, a psychotic episode, a schizophrenic episode, whatever you want to call it. What I've learned is that not every schizophrenic has a similar episode, meaning our illnesses are different, are unique. And so we might share similar symptoms, but how those symptoms interact with us, how they show themselves, and the chaos they cause in our daily life and day is different. The voices I hear are probably different than the voices other schizophrenics hear. Same thing with what I see. And so at least from schizophrenics I've talked to is that episodes might have similarities, but they're different. We all go through different kind of struggles. In terms of my episode, what I'll say is senior year of high school, I remember my first psychotic episode. I got quite paranoid. I was hearing voices, continuously, nonstop. I was having some visual hallucinations. And I managed to crash my dad's car. And I was quite psychotic for a number of days, probably a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. It was a long time ago. So I know that psychotic episode lasted quite a bit. But my first psychotic episode, in terms of severity, was one that I could try to put a mask on, so other people didn't notice as much what was going on. For example, when I crashed my dad's car, it was because I was seeing things. I was literally hallucinating figures and people in the garage when the garage door opened and I was pulling into park. I was hallucinating figures and people that were watching me, staring at me, and they had weapons with them, which caused me to drive right into the garage, almost through the garage, and yeah, it was bad. And I remember my adopted parents, they came out and they're like, what the hell happened? And I forgot what I told them, what excuse I gave. I'm not sure if I told them like it was by accident or if I accidentally hit the gas instead of the brake, but I made up some lie. And It was because I was scared to tell him I was seeing things and hearing things and paranoid and stuff like that. And that was my first episode. And it lasted for quite a bit, but it wasn't as severe as my episodes in college. It was just the beginning of my schizophrenia, really. Um, and during that time, Skylar, who I've talked about in my previous video, if you've caught up, um, Skylar, who in essence is an emo goth princess of chaos, is the easiest way to describe her. She was there in the garage, or she wasn't. I'll say this. She first was in the passenger seat of the car when I was pulling in driving. And she was egging me on. She was one of the reasons why I was angry in that moment, and probably the anger and what I felt against her definitely didn't help me. I mean, which caused me to crash the car, but the moment I crashed the car, she then appeared in the garage like she wasn't in the car, she was by the car. But yeah, that happened. But like I said, yeah, my first psychotic episode wasn't as severe as in college. In college, my psychotic episodes lasted weeks, and oftentimes the voices were like 10 out of 10, super violent, super disgusting, super chaotic, intimidating, manipulating. Often commanded I hurt myself or I hurt others, that I would do gnarly things that I fought and I rejected and didn't follow through with what they said, thankfully. And those episodes in college usually included paranoia, thinking I was unsafe, that people were following me, watching me, recording me, no cameras in my apartment, stuff like that. That people were poisoning my food, trying to kill me that way. That I was receiving secret coded messages. I've talked about that I was like a super spy, I thought at one point. Crazy. And my episodes in college usually ended up with me drinking, getting drunk, self-harm, cutting my forearms really bad, just bleeding, and yeah, self-harm and trying to kill myself, and then ending up in the hospital for weeks. So that's usually how it ended, my episodes. And then in my early 30s, the past 3-4 years, my episodes have kind of over the past 3-4 years, my episodes have transitioned a little bit, not in terms of severity, but in terms of symptoms. Over the past 3-4 years, if I look at everything as a whole picture, if I compare my 20s to my 30s, of which symptoms do I have more? In my 20s, it definitely was a lot of auditory, hallucinations, voices, visual hallucinations, seeing things, paranoia, delusions, some blackouts, mania, bipolar kind of things. Critical thinking, thought processing was really bad, just up and down. Being able to hold conversations just was not very great. But yeah, so in my 20s, I could say all the symptoms were just fighting for attention, really. All the symptoms that you can imagine were present. But in my early 30s, my 30s now, I've noticed that there's specific symptoms I have more than others. And I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if that's normal, if that's common, but as I get older, I've noticed there's some symptoms kind of overpower others. For me, a lot of it is auditory hallucinations, voices, visual things, seeing things, and then the paranoia and delusions compared to in my 20s, not as much. It's been more thought processing, critical thinking, memory storage or memory issues, um, being able to follow along conversations, like keeping up with different topics, and just being able to have those conversations with people to where they're not like, what? What are you saying? That doesn't make sense. Like those issues. I've had more of those to where conversations sometimes for me are just harder to keep up with now. And it could be that I'm just distracted more just by what I hear and see. And just my thought processing just is slower. It's not what it used to be. But that's what I've noticed over the years. Going back to the question though of now, presently, the past couple days definitely have been difficult. Not gonna lie. Skylar and Cheyenne still are here. They're sitting at the table with me, right in front of me. God damn it. But yeah, they're here. They're present. They're trying to distract me. They haven't gone away, not for one goddamn minute. I'm not sure how long they're going to stick around or how long they plan to stick around. This is kind of, it's not new, but it's been a while since I've had this intense or this severe of symptoms. It's been several months, for sure, since I've had this severe of an episode. But yeah, they're here. Their commands are outrageous, for sure. Like, they definitely are not giving up. They're trying their best to persuade me to fall into old habits. Whether that's drinking, getting high, self-harm, cutting myself. They're trying. But I refuse to give in to that kind of temptation. I do. My sobriety is important to me. My sobriety is probably one of the reasons why the past 4 or 5 months have been filled with so many blessings, so many good things. But yeah, in terms of my episode right now, it's tough. On a scale of 0 to 10, I would say it's probably about an 8. It could probably be worse. I mean, an 8 or 9. I mean, a 10, I've only had one of those, and I've had actually a couple of those. They ended up with me attempting to kill myself, so I'm not there yet. It's definitely not that, and it's not that bad. I'm holding on. I'm talking to Heavenly Father. I'm talking to God throughout the day, yesterday and today. Praying and trying to keep in mind Scripture and the Bible and the Gospel of Jesus Christ and what's important, trying to remember what is important. it's tough. It is. But like I said, I'm hanging in there. Past couple days haven't been easy, that's for sure. Not at all. Um, Besides for Skylar and Cheyenne, I mean, there's auditory voices I'm hearing. They usually there are whispers like in the background to where I can ignore them. But yesterday, a couple days yesterday, they're a bit louder. They are. Sorry, guys. I'm distracted. There's a lot going on in my head right now. There's a lot just both external and internal, just external and internal stimulation that's that's thrown me off for sure. But it's okay. I can handle it. I know I can. I've done it before. I know I'm strong enough. I got the strength. I got the courage to do it. Um, Also, I would say I'm not having trouble concentrating the past couple days, but my thoughts have just been sporadic, if that makes sense, to where it's more of I think of one thing and then, 5 minutes later, I'm thinking of something or I'm having a thought that is somewhat related, but it's a stretch. Like you could kind of make a justification that it's a related topic, but really it's not. Like I'm having those kind of thought processing, thinking kind of going on. So yeah, there's that I'm struggling with. Just thoughts, processing, thinking. Just it's a bit chaotic. Um, I I'm trying. I mean, today I tried to do some things for me that would help me feel better. I did. I upgraded my TV, so it's 70 inches. It's big. So I have a home theater basically in my apartment, which makes me kind of laugh and chuckle. I have a PlayStation 5 on the way, so I'm going to be playing video games and maybe get back into Call of Duty. I don't know. But I'm trying to do things that will just get me out of this funk, that will get me out of this episode, that will distract me. Especially distract me from Skylar and Cheyenne for sure. Been trying to play Dungeons and Dragons more, and doing that almost every day. I I emailed a friend of mine last night, Liz Gremlin. I emailed her because I still care about her. I love her because that's what Jesus Christ teaches me to do, is to love regardless of pain or trauma or what people have done. So I love her still. And I emailed her, told her what's happening, and just told her I'm struggling with Skylar and Cheyenne and just having an episode. And I don't know if she'll respond, but I wish she would. Because she's one of the few people that has known me and seen me when I'm having an episode, so she knows how I react. She knows what's going on in my mind, and she's one of the only people that had that magic touch, that magic voice, just that healing gift to where just talking to her, you feel better. Just her listening to what you're saying helps you feel better. She's got a gift. So I don't know if she'll respond, but I hope she does. I don't deserve her to respond. I don't deserve her to be caring or affectionate towards me because I treated her terribly and hurt her a lot. But I wish she would. I wish she would respond. I just needed to let someone know what was happening. But yeah, that's what I wanted to make this video for, just updating you guys of that this episode definitely is not getting better. I mean, it hasn't got worse per se. Like, I'm not feeling worse eternally, like emotionally. Like, I'm at the same spot I was yesterday and the day before when it started. It just surprised me that this episode came on like it did, that it was triggered by God knows what. I wasn't prepared for this episode. I wasn't. But we'll see. I am going to probably plan on watching some Netflix after this. I got at least one Dungeons and Dragons campaign tonight to play with, that I'm meeting some guys over Discord to, join that session, that campaign for D&D tonight. I also think I'm probably going to order some Domino's or pizza. I might actually go to Subway, which is just down the street, or New York. It's called New York Gyro or Gyro. I might go there. Depends how I feel about going outside. But yeah, that's what I plan on doing. We'll see if that helps. Just some, some comfort food, as they say. But yeah, I don't know how long this episode is going to last, guys. I really don't. Which means I don't know when the next video or the episode upload, I don't know when my next episode is going to be, having a faith topic that I usually do. What I plan on doing is just updating you every couple days about how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, and just how I'm bearing with getting through with this current psychotic episode I found myself in. It's not easy. Not easy at all. I just miss a lot of people. I miss my friend Ingrid. She Ingrid is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. I mean, she loves with her full heart. She does. And she's willing to do anything possible she can do to comfort you, to be there for you, to be a sincere friend. And I miss her a lot. Me and Ingrid would usually go out to eat together, have dinner or lunch. We would, there was a Thai place in Anchorage that we used to eat at, me and her. There was a Mexican taco place we used to eat at. But I remember once me and Ingrid went to this fire top pizza joint, this restaurant, and we were eating, and Ingrid ordered this alcoholic drink, and apparently it tasted so damn good. She loved it. And within probably 30, 45 minutes, an hour, she had downed 3 of them. And we were like, both realized, we're like, you just finished your 3rd drink. That's your 3rd glass of whatever alcoholic drink that was. How you feeling? And it was funny because Fire Tap. It was called Fire Tap. That's the restaurant name. But it was funny because we were eating and having pizza, and she was a little tipsy, and we were laughing and just having a good time. I miss having people like that just to be with, to feel loved, important, cared for. I miss her a lot. And I miss Gremlin a lot. She knew exactly how to help me in these situations. Whether it was telling me to start a hot bath and just soak myself in warm hot water while she scrubs my back and washes my back with soap and shampoos and conditions my hair and just treats me, with that level of friendship that you never want to lose. And she would hold me and I'll listen to her heartbeat. While we just cling to each other's souls, to each other's hearts. But yeah. But am I stable? That's a question. Am I stable? I would say yes and no. I can't give you a definite answer because that would be a lie. Am I stable in the sense that I'm not a danger to myself or other people? Yes, that's correct. I'm not a danger to myself. I'm not a danger to other people. My safety there's no safety risk for myself, my body. I'm not going to self-harm. There's no safety risk for the people around me or other people. So in that way, I am stable, very much so. I am at least that present-minded. At least I'm that cognitive of what's going on, that I know how to keep myself safe and others. But am I stable in terms of mentally, schizophrenia, being schizophrenic, am I stable in terms of the episode, the psychotic episode, of the voices, what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, a little bit of paranoia, thought processing, just being able to make sense? I would probably say no. I'm not stable in that sense. And I say I'm not stable in that sense because I feel like I have one foot in reality and then one foot in this other realm, in this other spiritual realm, I guess you could say, to where, a part of me is like, yeah, this is real. I'm breathing. I can feel my own body. You know, I can count to 10. I feel the cold air on my face. Like, what I hear from the TV is what I'm hearing. Like, I know that's what they're saying. So, in one sense, I know I'm in reality. Like, I can tell what is reality and what's fiction and nonfiction. But in the other sense, I'm not. There's a part of me that isn't based in reality right now because of Skylar and Cheyenne and them badgering me about just doing incomprehensible things. There's a part of me that's not based in reality because of, seeing Pinhead everywhere. If anyone has watched the Hellraiser series, you would know who Pinhead is. And Deep Throat, I think that's her name, or something like that. But seeing those guys everywhere I turn, but and the voices just, I have about 6 to 7 voices that don't have bodies, that I can't picture, that don't have a physical manifestation that I'm hearing too. But in that sense, I'm not based in reality, I guess you could say. But that's what I mean. Am I stable? It's yes and no. I'm present-minded enough to know not to do any stupid shit, that's for sure. I'm present-minded enough to know the difference between right and wrong, between good and bad. At least I'm cognitive of that. But that doesn't mean it's easy. Not at all. Oh. But this is how I'm feeling, guys. This was only going to probably be a 30 to 40-minute video. Just wanted to update you guys with what I'm doing. So we'll see. We'll see how Dungeons and Dragons works tonight, and some comfort food, and if Liz emails me back, we'll see. But it's tough. I'm not doing my best. I'm not. I'm definitely not in good shape. Not really. But I'll get past this. I will. I know to trust God, to depend on Him, and that He's present. He's watching. He's comforting me. And I know Christ has lived, knows the pain that I'm going through, and understands. So I just have to keep them in mind. I do. Utilize my faith. Utilize my faith for sure. But that's how I'm feeling. I'm not sure if there's gonna be, there might be. God. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. There might be a third part to this. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a third part, fourth part. I don't know. I'm not sure how many, but yeah. I just wanted to let you guys know this update. But I always do want to end with this because it's important for me to tell you guys. I don't care where you're from, where you live. If you live in America, if you're conservative, liberal, progressive, I don't care. I don't care if you live in Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Australia, Russia, China. Like, I don't give a shit where you live. I love you regardless. I love you with my whole heart. You're important. Your life matters. God loves you. Christ loves you. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, atheist, agnostic. I don't care. You're my brother, you're my sister, and I love you. End of story. It's that simple. I don't care if you're gay, straight, non-binary, transgender, identify as a frog or a tree. Like, we might disagree on things. We might, just not see things the same way, but none of that matters to me when it comes to how much I love you. Because I want to be there for you. I want to support you. And I want to make sure you feel like you're loved. That we don't need to agree on things in order for us to love each other as Christ commanded us to, as God commanded us to. Whether you relapsed yesterday, are in detox today, whether you have a needle in your arm right now and you're high, whether you're at the bar drinking right now, whether you're in bed right now with a random guy or girl, whether you're getting laid, a booty call, whatever the situation is, whatever struggle you're going through, if it's domestic violence, abuse, if you're a kid right now, child, teenager, if you're going through horrible things, if people are hurting you, whatever the case may be, if you're incarcerated, if you got convicted of whatever you did, I don't care if it was because you stole something. I don't even care if you murdered someone. At the end of the day, God commands me to love. And part of loving someone is being able to acknowledge that they have a chance to be redeemed. They have a chance for redemption, for forgiveness. I think that's important for us to realize, is that even for people who may have done terrible things, that the Heavenly Father, that God commands us to acknowledge and see those people who have done terrible things as still being worth saving, of still being worth love and affection in the eyes of God. That they are able to be redeemed, like I said, to be saved. That they, if they're willing to accept Christ in their life, that they can become, a child of God. And so I love all of you, I do. And it's because I love all of you that I'm always going to preach the gospel, that I'm always going to remind you guys about God's will and what he expects from all of us, including me. Because I'm a sinner. I'm a broken man. I've done terrible things. I've hurt a lot of people. And I can't take back anything I've done. All the bad things I have to live with, so that's why it is important for me to be able to talk to you guys and make these videos and upload these videos to YouTube, because I want to be able to at least try my best to help support you guys so you don't make the same mistakes I did. So you don't feel the pain that I feel. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. Much love. Have a good night.